So, first of all, I would just like to thank everybody. Obviously, you guys are the folks that get it. You're here. You're supporting us. You're here because we know you're supporting us and you're helping us keep the vision and the dream alive. And so I really want to make sure that everybody knows that we appreciate you, and that we hope that we can have all of you guys continue to work with us to even build our circle, this circle of folks that really get it, to be bigger and make it easier to keep this whole place alive, because it's special and it's. I've been talking to a lot of parents tonight. It's a hard place to keep going. A lot of people don't understand because their vision of what high school looks like don't understand why you would invest in a high school. Because they look at like, why would you do that? Like, how could that be a useful or a valuable use of resources? And the reality is, it's just because they can't see what's possible. I would really just like to encourage you to understand our goal, because you're in this with me, is to create an exemplar. The whole vision is we create the exemplar of what school can look like. We continue to build it to be better, more amazing, more authentic, more connected, more like the types of things Kalina's talking about, and then hopefully have that start to impact our entire school. So you start to transform the whole school culture, community culture, and then other schools, and then hopefully, beyond. That's really the vision. Bill Woodard gave a prompt in our staff meeting the other day. This is all ad hoc, just so you know. I'm just going with this. And what he said was, a lot of times people don't think about why. Why do we do stuff? And one of the things that I appreciate it, he brought up Simon Sinek, and Simon Sinek's a big person that I kind of looked to. He has a TED Talk, and it's from like 6, 7 years ago, and I watched it. It's all about kind of like Apple and how their why strategy is successful. And I've kind of used that as my mantra. So when Bill brought it up, I was like, this is like a good time to even this is all partly because you're trying to bring this to our school. I thought this is a good time to talk about this, because I think a lot of people don't really think about why. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? I think a lot of people focus on the what of what we do. And that was what happened when we stopped doing robotics. People said, but that is you. That is what you do. You do robotics. It's like, no, that is not what we do. What we do is we try to inspire and educate kids. And why we're doing this is we're trying to create an authentic, forward-thinking organization, and we've grown out of robotics. So we're transitioning because we believe that if we do this, our why will be more in line with our values. And so that was the transition point. But ultimately, I think people don't totally get why we do what we do. And I really want to help people understand this, because it's really about the human side of everything. And as I've kind of matured and had time to reflect and get out of the what, as much as there's a why, sometimes I get into the what of the project. Oh, we're building this thing. And you can get all myopic and be buried down in the project, and you start forgetting about the people and the kids and everybody else around you. And it's easy to do. But the why is this. We take kids, and some of you have heard some version of this, because it's really what I just passionately believe in. We take kids from K all the way to 13 in college, as Kalina just explained. And we basically put them in a box for 6 hours a day. And we take their humanity, and we tell them that your whole life, every day, is doing assignments that really are their skill, but I'm not saying the skills aren't valuable, but you're doing these assignments that just feel like pushing the boulder up the hill, rolls back down, push the boulder up the hill. You're not really getting anywhere. You don't feel like you're getting anywhere. It's not authentic. And so the why of what we do is really about how do we take the time that we have with these kids and honor them as people and say, you're going to be with us for 6 hours a day, and we're going to appreciate you. We're going to have you work on things that feel and are meaningful. And that is really the why. It's like, I believe that it's a total waste of, I'm going to put GDP in quotes, it's a total waste of GDP, of all of this human resources, to have people work on stuff that has already been done. It's possible to build skills and work on things that are new and exciting, and maybe not 100% in K, but certainly, I'll tell you right now, certainly by the time they're in junior high and high school. There is no doubt. And what we're doing with our seniors, and people are blown away, we could be doing that with freshmen if what we were doing with freshmen was being done with fourth graders. Trust me. No one would ever believe that what we're doing with our seniors would ever be possible. They walk in and they're like, how do colleges compete with this? you know? And the reality is, and it's not about looking more advanced. It really, the reason it's so advanced and so surprising to people is because nobody believes that kids can do authentic work. And if we did, school wouldn't look the way it looks. So it's up to us as a society to look at what we're doing and to ask ourselves, is this the best we can do, like, especially in this country? I mean, this country, is this the best we can do? And I would say no, and I say this, I want to be clear, this is not an indictment of teachers, it's not an indictment of the people in education, but it's an indictment of our society that we, in this free and innovative society, don't group together and say enough is enough and start doing what we know in our hearts is right and really engage our students and treat them as fully functioning, like capable human beings right from the beginning, and engage them and give them some agency and some guidance and help them to be successful. And so that is what we're all trying to build here. And I was talking to a couple today, and I'm trying to build this museum space with, Emily and I are working our butts off right now trying to do this, and we're hoping it's all going to come to fruition. There's been some ups and some downs. I'm not building this thing, and we're not building this thing because we need to see the results. I just explained this. I've already seen the movie. It's 100% Rotten Tomatoes and 2 thumbs up. It's awesome. I don't need to see it. I've already seen it in snippets in all of the ad hoc experiences we've done, and it's crystal clear to me that this is where we need to go. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is, like, if we can do this and we can work together and collaborate to make this happen, we will be an order of magnitude better than where we are right now. And I know people are like, how could that possibly be? You just have to trust me. Like, I swear, you will not believe what you will see, the difference in the change in our own students, in the community, in the broader impact, and in what education can look like. And so thank you again for your continued support. We need to make the tent bigger. This is super hard, and you guys are making a big difference and making it less hard, but it's still harder than it needs to be for what we're trying to do. And I'm just going to give this last little thing. Like, Kalina just talked about college and how it's just whatever it is. Our program, and if you guys can, some folks, I talked to some parents, like, maybe we could start reaching out. I want you to think about this. Private college is $60 to $80K a year. It's just for tuition. We're doing what we're doing, what Kalina just described to you, we're doing for $1,500 a kid. That is like miraculous. Miraculous. Miraculous, okay? I mean, it's crazy. It's such a crazy, ridiculously small amount of money to achieve what we're achieving. And yet every year, Emily and I are just like, losing sleep. How are we going to do this? We as a community have to figure out, how do we keep this place going? And I'm going to tell you right now, if we could be freed up from having to deal with that tiny amount of money per kid, which is tiny in the scheme of things, you just can't even believe what we would be spending that creative energy on. So it's just important. We're a tiny staff doing a lot of stuff, and this is not meant, none of this is a complaint. It's just like, I want you guys to like wrap your brain around. It's a crazy organization. It's super challenging to run. We're doing it on a shoestring budget, and we're doing things that nobody can even think is possible, let alone with the resources we have. So I've just encouraged you to take even one kind of bigger step with us. Some of you have donated money, some of you donated time. It's not even about more money, it's about the vision. Can we band together as a group, and can we work together to get this vision out into the public and help more people get on board, understand what's at stake here, and help us transform education and hopefully our country and the world. I know it seems lofty, but I really mean that. Thank you. Oh, I want to say one thing. Not because I thought of it, because Emily told me I should say it. So here's an example of of an ad hoc effect that would be infused in perpetuity and institutionalized by the museum. We took the carousel physics and put it in the art museum. And then was there for like 6 or 8 weeks. They had a space, so they were just like, will you put it in there? We were very lucky to get it in there. It just happened to open up. It was amazing. And then they were like so excited by it, they said, can you take it over to the Ridley House, which is a separate property, and can we collaborate together, invite students in, teach them about art, kinetic art history, and then they can do something, you know, some show and tell with your projects, with your students. We did that. The number of students in interviews who, when we asked them, you know, why are you here? Why do you want to do this? They were like, when I was in 5th grade, I saw this thing called the carousel of physics, and your students were talking about it. And I was like, I can't believe kids are doing stuff like this in a school. I want to do that. And I want you to think about what would it look like in our community if instead of this singular ad hoc, that one group of 5th and 4th graders of a certain select set of schools got to see, what would it look like if our school campus, Dos Pueblos campus, was engaging the youth 3 to 5 times a week with our students? What would that be doing to our students in terms of their value as mentors, valuing that time they're there, and those young people going, oh my God, look what I could be doing. How transformative would that be? And how much would it accelerate? Because we can't meet the demand of everybody. We know, you know, we just turn away a bunch of kids, and it's heartbreaking. But in that, for the greater good, is that pressure is going to help create the transformation, because more parents and more of the community will demand the type of things we're doing for their kids, and it won't just be this special thing that, you know, 400 kids get to do. So that's what's going to be possible. So imagine, not, like I said, not the singularity, but this built into the DNA of the DPEA is this cross-pollination between programs, this vertical, you know, connectedness between all of the different ages, even in our own program, improving that. So that's what we saw, and the number of kids that said that, it was remarkable, and it was just one more, you know, example of why I'm telling you, it's 100% and 2 thumbs up. It just is. It's just like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I'm going to say this, we're trying to build a museum that costs $10 million. Moxie was 25. The Museum of Natural History just did a full remodel for 20 million. Art Museum is doing a remodel for 50 million. I'm telling you, everything we do is budget, and its ROI is through the roof. You just got to help get me and Emily and our team in front of the right people to help us figure this out. So thank you again for your time. I know I already said that, but I missed a talking point apparently. All right.